As excitement builds for the 2025 Tour de France, one man in northern France is reliving the race's rich history through thousands of cherished items. Eric Caron, a 63-year-old collector, has spent decades gathering memorabilia linked to the world's most prestigious cycling race. From nearly 500 official jerseys to license plates, trading cards, figurines, and more, his passion lives in every corner of his home in Esquerchin. It all began in the 1970s when Caron bought his first cyclist trading card album. Over the years, his collection grew to include rare pieces, like the jersey worn by Belgian legend Eddy Merckx in his first Tour de France stage, and gear from modern icons like Cavendish.
As for jerseys, I've gone closer to 500 than 400 today. I haven't even counted the caps. I know I also have 500 water bottles. I have more than 1,500 books, and for magazines, I have 4 or 5 times more than that. And so I have many, many objects. Let me talk to you about my famous Sprint 71 album, which is the first thing I purchased linked to cycling. We bought the pictures in small packs and pasted them here, and we exchanged them since of course we had doubles. And voila, I finished this album in 2010. So here's a second room where we can find all the water bottles. There are around 500, and especially the collection I really hold dear, which are vehicle plates, and the oldest of them come from the Tour de France in 1963, 1965, 1966. Today, it's not only about collecting things together, it's really about sharing them with the general public through exhibitions, and maybe in the future, why not? Through a museum. This is the most emblematic one, Eddy Merckx's jersey, which the greatest champion in the history of cycling wore in his first Tour de France and on the first stage of this Tour de France. This is for me the most beautiful object in this exhibition, but it's purely sentimental, since as a kid, I was a fervent Merckxist and I still am. This is a more recent jersey, a jersey that Mark Cavendish wore in the 2010 Tour de France, who last year became the record holder for individual victories in the Tour de France. But he does not hold the record for stages 1, because Eddy Merckx won 34, while Mark Cavendish won 35 individual victories. But to that, you add Eddy Merckx's 16 time trials, which means that, as Christian Prudhomme said, he has 40 stage wins under his belt. Since we're talking about the infamous 1972 Tour de France, let me show you. That small head popping up here is mine. I was on the side of the road on July 15, 1972. I was waiting for the cyclists who we see here. We have all crossed paths with the Tour de France, be it when they pass in front of your house, of when we were going on holiday, at the side of a road where cyclists were passing through. Of course, this heritage is about our childhood. As Jean Ferrat said, no one gets over their childhood, which resurges, and when I see children but also parents lean closer into figurines, into objects related to the Tour de France, it takes them back to their own memories. And this year, in addition, it's twice the pleasure, if not to say triple, since we have 3 stages. There's the Grand Depart in Lille, and then the starting point of the second stage in Lowenplank is 2 kilometers from my home. It's at the end of my street. So I know that on that day, I can go by foot to the starting point. It's quite an extraordinary thing.
Ahead of this year's Grand Depart in Lille, Caron is sharing his prized collection with the public, displaying it in an exhibition at the regional council offices. For him, it's more than nostalgia. It's about connecting generations and sparking memories in fans young and old. With the tour starting just minutes from his home, Caron describes this year's event as a personal highlight. And while his home is filled with cycling history, he dreams of turning his private passion into a public museum, so the legacy of the Tour de France can live on.